A few days ago, we had seen a sneak peek of the Wicked and One Size collaboration. I even included it in my releases and rants that's on my channel every single week. But now we know exactly what the products are. We knew that there was going to be like a face and an eyeshadow palette, there's a highlighter, there's a brush, and then there's like a glittery setting spray. I have to say a massive thank you to Makeup on Your Radar for the information on this. Also, massive thanks to Point Click Vibes because they've given me information on this as well. But let's discuss this. This is quite a funny one because it was actually in Sephora that the Wicked setting spray was actually seen. It seems that they put it out by mistake. Whoopsie daisy. Anyways, this is going to be available from the 1st and the 2nd of April. Let's start by talking about the eye and face palette. It's going to retail for $49, and to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time that One Size has actually done an eyeshadow palette. Now, you clearly have your elphaba side and your glinda side. And at first eyeballing, it does look like the blushes are quite similar to each other, but one is more kind of corally toned and one is much more of a traditional pink. And the thing is, I actually feel like the eyeshadows themselves have some very nice shades in there. Like, I like them individually, but I feel that together it's a little bit all over the place. Do you know what I mean? Like, particularly Glinda's part, it just feels a little bit mismatched. But I mean, they're basically trying to get two characters in there and have an eye and a face palette. I feel like they tried to do too much and then it just kind of went a little bit all over the place. And look, I so appreciate the fact that they're going for the whimsy. You know, they've like a green arm for swatches. I get it. You know, we're doing that for elphaba. However, could you also make sure that you have an arm for like swatches for those with deeper skin tones? Because it's really weird that that's been omitted instead of this. Like, why not have both? Just a suggestion. And the exact same criticism goes towards their Defying Gravity highlighter. That's going to retail for $34. I have to say, this is kind of like it's fine, like it's grand, but there's nothing about this that makes me kind of go, oh my God, take all of my money. It feels like a very copy-paste standard highlighter from 2008. You know, like I feel like I have this in my collection many times over and probably decluttered many times over. So it just feels a bit like, oh, very strange. And they're also coming out with their off-the-handle complexion brush for $32. Look, I get it. They're making it look like it's a broom. We get it. You know, witches, brooms, it's a whole thing. I don't know, there's something about the shape of this that I'm like, I don't really know. Is this like meant to be like a powder brush? I mean, fair enough, but it's not really the shape that I would personally like. Because it basically has a mixture of longer and shorter fibres, which will be okay for certain things, but I personally never get use out of brushes like that. And this is the one that was actually spotted out in the wild. It's the popular glitter setting spray for $34. Now, in principle, I think this is quite interesting because, I mean, it's kind of bringing me back to the early noughties. Do you remember when we used to put glitter spray on absolutely everything? And this kind of makes sense. But actually seeing it on, I don't love it. You know, it feels a bit... oh, I don't know how to say this nicely. Like, it just looks a bit cheap. Like, it does look like the stuff that we literally wore in the noughties. And I don't know if I would personally spend $34 for that. Like, I feel like they needed to have finer glitter particles. Maybe that's just me. But hey, do you know what? I'm sure there's a space for this. It's coming into festival season. People like this kind of thing. Just because it's not for me, it doesn't mean that somebody else won't love it. And if you do love it, fan-friggin-tastic. I love that for you. I was initially really looking forward to this because I've tried a few things from One Size and I really like them. I really want to try their setting spray, but they won't ship it to Ireland. It's the whole thing. We are not allowed to set our faces. We just must be gross at all times. And I love Wicked, I love musicals, I love theatre, I love all that sort of thing. So I was getting ready to love this, but it just isn't for me. And again, look, that's totally fine. You know, I don't have to love everything. The face and eye palette, to me, it looks very... do you know what it looks like? It looks like old school Too Faced, and I don't mean that in a good way. You know, like, do you see it, like the layout? I just, don't love that sort of thing. Very, very strange. I also think the way that they've presented it with the swatches was just, my mind doesn't get that. Like, I get the creativity of like, here, let's show it on a green arm, but then like, why have you omitted POCs? Like, that's a really, really weird move. The highlighter is very flat, it's like the original archetype of a highlighter, but nobody really uses that anymore. Wish this was a finer glitter. I never use brushes like this. I really wanted to love this, but there's nothing in this collection that makes me kind of go, yeah, this is going to be popular, because I feel like it's only a very particular person who's going to end up getting this, and it might be like the big Wicked fanatics, which I get it, totally get it. But it isn't for me, and I really wish I could have loved it. But there you go. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like any parts of this? Like, I think there's like elements of, like, say, the eyeshadow palette. I quite like some of the singles, but not enough to bother getting it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I am interested as always.